I'm going to take you inside my blue bedroom and show you some antiques and furnishings and my design plans for the future of my French blue bedroom and give you a history of why it sat there for 2 years. Hi, I'm Alexandra, and over the last several videos on Restoration Dream, I've been working on this room in the drawing room. And while I'm still working on it, there's a lot to be done. I have to make the curtains. I'm starting to refinish the coffee table that I found cheaply, and also some 2 end tables for the sofa. So while this project is ongoing, today I'm going to show you a project that has sat still for 2 years, and that is my bedroom. Let's go inside and have a look. And this is my bedroom. When you walk in, the first thing you notice is the overwhelming smell of sanded dust, because I started a project in here. Actually, I've started this project twice. Let me explain. So for this bedroom here at the cottage, well, there's a lot of bad memories here. For me, there's, a broken marriage. There's a cat that I once rescued and didn't have the money to keep him, but I fell in love with him. Still cry about that sweet cat. And then I had my 2 rescue rabbits that I rescued from an abusive man who was mistreating them. They came malnourished and skinny, and this was their room of refuge. So then the male bunny, Bourbon, had a terrible protozoan infection and nearly died, and he was paralyzed, and it was, months of recovery. Okay, so the next chapter of this room's life, and this rather long saga, but I think it's important to share it with you because I always like to be really honest on my channel and share who I really am and share the truthfulness of these projects and not make it seem glossy and perfect, because I don't believe perfection exists, and perfection just makes those of us who are normal people feel really badly about ourselves. So the next chapter in this room's history is my finally taking steps to remodel it. I cleaned it all out. I moved all the furnishings out. I moved my bed into the library, and I've been living there for 2 years. So what I did was I started with the ceiling. The ceiling and all of the ceilings in this entire house are textured with something called broom texture, these little tiny rainbows. And you'll see me working on it in a different room in an upcoming video down the line. But I have to do it myself. I can't afford a big crew of men to work on my house. So I've been remudding the ceiling, sanding it, remudding again, second sand, final sand, and then painting. So it looks perfect. It's absolutely smooth as glass. I'm so happy with it. I painted it a lovely Benjamin Moore color called Chantilly Lace. Beautiful color that works in historic type of houses. It doesn't look like a modern white. Anyway, I injured myself so badly in this room working with just substandard sanders, and I tore a nerve in my subscapularis, lost feeling in my arm and my hand. So I laid up in the library in pain for months before I even got a tingle of feeling back in my hand, and my neck was just ruined. So that was another bad experience in this room. I find that bad experiences just really stifle progress in my life. For some reason, I freeze up and stand still for long periods of time. I think it's really a form of trauma procrastination. So it took me a long time to get started on this room again. The next thing that needs to be done in the room is gel staining all of the wood trim and the wood doors in this room. This room has a 1980s orangey stain on the wood, which really doesn't go with what the look that I'm going for, which is more of a historic house, even though it's really not one. The rest of the downstairs has darker stained wood trim, sort of a deeper walnut color, I guess you could call it. So this bedroom needs to kind of flow with the rest of the house downstairs with the same color. So I started another sanding project, but this time mostly sanding by hand. I did sand also with my cheap hand sander. So I made an absolute dust bomb out of this room. So I tend to overwhelm easily, and it makes me just walk away, close the door, and stop. So that's where I've left it. Okay, so now I thought it was important to give you that little bit of background on the story of my blue bedroom. But now I'm going to turn it into a fun section of this week's vlog. And we're going to talk about the design part, because that is my way of self-motivating, is to kind of work backwards from restoration dream and start with the dream. So the dream is a French blue bedroom, and I'm going to show you what I have for the room now. Okay, so I'm going to start with the paint color. I'm also going to show you some photos on the screen of this color. This is a Benjamin Moore. It's a medium tone blue. It's called Brazilian blue. So you can see here, and that's the paint number. So I really love this blue. It's a medium. The room is facing eastward, so it gets a ton of light. So it may look really super strong here, but I'm in a darker room right now. This will appear lighter a little bit, but I like vivid, saturated colors. I'm not a big fan of whitewash colors. So this will be, I've always loved a rich cornflower blue, so blues with more on the violet end of the spectrum. So this has definite sides of violet. Now when you get more to like the aqua blues and the teals, well, that has more green, more yellow in it. So that's how you get that. But this has more of the violet, so a little bit more of the red side of the blue family. So let me show you now. I'm also going to show you a couple of rooms that I found online painted in this. You can see it kind of all over, and I'll show you a digital paint splotch of Brazilian blue. Now this is the next thing I want to show you for the room. This is a ginger jar lamp, and it is Chinese in style, chinoiserie. However, I feel like it's also a little bit arts and crafts. I've seen this pattern in the English arts and crafts movement, but it has rich cobalt blues. I don't think it's going to show on camera here, but so it just has a classic ginger jar curve to it and a shape. I'm going to buy the little wooden Chinese stands with the feet on them and then attach them that you see on really more high-end lamps. These lamps aren't high-end, but we can make them look that way with the wooden stand and a really interesting shade. Now I haven't found the shades yet, but that'll be at a later time. Right now I need to save up to buy the paint. I have the supplies for the wood staining, for the gel stain on the wood trim and the doors. But I just need to save up to get the paint next. Now this is a matelassé French bed set that I have already in existence, and I think it's going to work. I think it will work nicely. It is, not too matchy-matchy, but I don't want it to be matchy-matchy. So it has a damask pattern that is slightly similar here to the flower in the lamp slightly. It's larger, and this is reading in person like a light denim, like a chambray blue, but almost really gray, looking like a blue-gray. And I just think that it will be really pretty. This is the direction that the pattern will go on the bed. And then I have 2 of these and 2 side tables and 2 mirrors to hang over the side tables. So this is what I have for the room. I have a lot of other pieces for the room, but I'm gonna save that for future videos. Right now, I think the most important thing to do is to get that wood stained and then get the paint on the walls. And then the third most important thing will be to refinish the French bed. Let me show you the bed. So shamefully, this is the hallway where I have stored things for the drawing room and the bedroom and for a sitting room upstairs. So this is the only place that I have downstairs for storage, and this is the staircase right here. Now this is the French antique bed that I have. Now it is Victorian. It is not from the 18th century, but it's Louis XV in style. As you can see here, now this bed needs to be refinished, but this is very common, this emblem on the top of the bed in the Louis XV style, and so are the curve of the bed. That's very Louis XV. Louis XVI, this would be straight and a whole different style, but Louis XV, this was a style. Now, French antiques from the 18th century were extremely popular in the Victorian period. So like 125, 150 years after. So they became in style. So you'll see a lot of Victorians doing this sort of Marie Antoinette, or in this case, Louis XV. Marie Antoinette would be Louis XVI. So that's what they were doing. Here's some little laurel leaves and flowers along the bed. Now this bed has been sitting here for years. Well, not here in this location, but in this house for years. Here are the side rails. Actually, I think the foot of the bed is behind. This is the headboard. The foot of the bed, you have got to subscribe if only to see the foot of the bed. The foot of the bed is more beautiful than the headboard, I believe. So this is sort of like typical of antique beds, that these aren't our standard sizes. So this I'm using a full mattress, American full mattress with. So that's the thing there. And some other things I have for that room, there's a print there, and I have an actual oil painting of a Victorian lady. These 2 chairs are new. They're Louis XVI in style, but they're going to go with a small table and a lamp just for seating in the room. Here's a jardiniere. Let me see if I can climb through here. And the lighting is kind of yellow because of the color of the light bulbs I have installed. But this will be in the bedroom. This is a little Fenton art glass fairy light. And this is a jardiniere with hydrangea in a very French pattern. So this leans more violet. And you can see it goes nicely with the chair. So these are just some of the pieces that I have. So now that I've shown you these three pieces, the wall color and hopefully the fabric for the French bed, and I have two of these lamps. We'll find the lampshades at a later date. Now I want to show you the curtain panels that I found for both of the windows in the bedroom and also for the French bed crown hanging over the bed and draping over the headboard. So they're a beautiful toile de Jouy that I found, and it appears to be a deep periwinkle blue. Now, I won't know until I get them home, but because they are in the same color family as the Brazilian blue wall color, which is that French cornflower blue, they both have a violet red base to the blue. It's in the same family, so it's going to work nicely. They don't have to match the wall exactly, and I can tie them together when I buy the trims for the curtain panels. I haven't decided whether I want a boulet, which are the little onion ball trim, or if I want the fringe or the tassels yet. We'll have to see what we can find. I'm always on the hunt, like I said, as an art director for elements of a room. So I'm always on the lookout. I have trim that I purchased years and years ago for other rooms, but I just recently found this toile de Jouy. I wasn't going to do a toile de Jouy because I think anybody that's doing a French bedroom, that's what they use. But I like this one so much because it is different to me. The other toiles that I've seen have been the ivory with the red line drawings on them, or the same ivory with blue line drawings. So I like that this one has a deep periwinkle base, and it has sort of ivory and a taupe line drawings on the images. So to me, it's not something so usual. And I just really feel like this downstairs bedroom is the only bedroom downstairs. The other two bedrooms are upstairs. And it should be more formal. And I'm just going by my grandmother's antebellum home. It was just a beautiful antebellum mansion home, and her really formal bedroom was across from the drawing room, and that was the most formal bedroom in the house. The others were upstairs and they were beautiful, but hers was the grand room. And so in the great English country houses, the great big houses like Chatsworth House or Castle Howard up in Yorkshire, they always had state bedrooms. So they were the most formal bedrooms in these great houses. They were not the rooms that the family themselves lived in. They were for distinguished guests like Queen Victoria, who would come through, or other aristocrats or foreign princes and things. So that's what a state bedroom was for. Or if you want to liken it to the White House in America, you could say like the Queen's bedroom in that house, or the Lincoln bedroom. So that would be kind of a stateroom. So visiting dignitaries, if they were really distinguished, would stay there. So in my little cottage, that's what we're having. We're having one really grand bedroom, and that's my room downstairs. And I think it's always important, if you can swing it, to have a bedroom downstairs. It was tempting to turn it into a study, but having been injured really, really badly and incapacitated a few times, I think having a downstairs bedroom in a 2-story home makes it livable so that you can age gracefully in the home and not have to worry about getting up and down the stairs. So I think I'm always going to have a downstairs bedroom in whichever house I live in. So I like doing that. It's also easy for me in the morning to take the boys out and the bunnies out for their walk and their hops. Right, Barley? Say hello to everybody. Oh, you're too dark to show up. He's too dark, but you have a waggy tail. He's a good boy. He's my film assistant today. And my kissing boy. Yes, he's a good kissing boy. Yes. He always helps me on every project. What are you doing in the field? Getting soaking wet, you big bear? You big bear! What are you doing? Get your brother! Get your brother! Look at him, he's soaking wet too. Hey, Louie. Oh. Okay. You boys having fun? You having fun, Louie? What about you, Bear? Okay, come on, let's run. The sun's just coming up. This is the only time we can walk here in the deep south in the summer. It's going to be 94 degrees. Feels like almost 100% humidity. Right now it's 74, but it is hot. So we're sun's just right above the tree line over there. Come on, boys. They get so bored and oh, there it goes. There's the sun. Good morning, everyone. Hope you have a nice day today. Look at Bear's here. Look at the Barley Bear. His name is Barley, but everybody has a nickname in my household. But Barley is Bear. He's rolling around like a happy wet hound. Arr, happy wet hound, happy wet hound. And that's Bilou. You'll hear me calling him Louie all the time. That's his nickname. Right? Great Bear and Louie. Right, boys? They know their formal names and they know their nicknames. And then they're collectively the boys. Right, Bear? Yeah, we the boys. The sun looks pretty. Their formal names are Jasper Bellew and Barley Harvest. Louie, what are you eating? No! Get out of that. Louie is my sneaky guy. He likes to be so sneaky. You shouldn't be eating things. It's going to cause us some problems later. Bear, you don't need to check it out. Come on. Good boy, good boy. Look at the sun. It's pretty, isn't it? I am not normally a morning person. So this was a real sacrifice for me. Bourbon Bunny is not doing well. He has a sinus and eye infection. So he's making like this wheezing and honking noises. So I'm giving him more antibiotic eye drops and antibiotic medicine by mouth. So I'll just be really glad if my animals are doing well and if my YouTube channel would do better. I would feel a lot better about things, but it's been kind of a rough week. Look at them. They're tired, but I'm gonna keep them running because I need to edit this video today and I don't want two unhappy puppies complaining. So this way, they'll have so much fun. I go home and give them both a bath. And then I take my bath and then finally they can sleep and I can do some work. on the blue bedroom and make you a YouTube video. Hi, Bear. Bear's kind of camera shy. Look at him. Bear. Louie's not. Louie likes to be on camera. Look at the boys. They're soaking wet. You boys gonna go home and have a bath now. And some water. And then you can go CBC. Right, Bear? Bear. There's Bear. Yeah. Right, Louie. Let's say hello, Louie. Little bear. My swamp puppies. Well, I'm back in the library where we are all holed up until we get the blue bedroom finished. So it's my motivation to get started on the blue bedroom. First, I'm going to work on sanding, the rest of the sanding of the doors and all that stuff of the baseboards in the room, and then clean it all up really, really well. Then gel stain. Then I need to get a top coat. And then I'm not sure whether I'm going to refinish the wood floors next or paint the walls first. I think I'm going to need to refinish the floors next because I am going to be using my hand sanders and it doesn't have a vacuum to suck the dust up, which means it's going to get dust all over freshly painted walls. So I'm going to think about it. Let me know in the comments what you think the order should be. Woodwork, walls, floor, or woodwork, floor, walls. But then we'll be able to move back in there once the floors cure. And I'm going to get the mattress out of this library. And then I'm going to get it back in there. And then we'll start working on refinishing that beautiful French bed. And slowly we'll be making interesting videos along the way, charting the progress. So it's all consecutive vlogs. So go back and watch the old ones and then you'll be caught up. You can watch the new ones. But thank you so much for joining me and watching the videos. Please like and subscribe to the channel to follow the dream. And there's a lot of interesting rooms coming up. I'm going to be finishing the drawing room soon, and that will be included. I'm going to remodel a downstairs bathroom. You can help me with that. And I need your help on what to do with the kitchen. So we'll have some vlogs coming up on all of these subjects. So please subscribe and follow the dream with me. I would love to have you. Love to hear from you all in the comment section. Thank you so much for being my friends and for keeping me motivated to finish the work. And I will see you all next week in the next video. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful July 4th, and I'll see you next week. Bye! With a special thank you to all of my patrons. I really appreciate all of your support.